This is where a lot of my orchids spend their winters, under lights in this greenhouse thing. This greenhouse thing I move outside in the summer and I keep them in it with a shade cloth over the top, and they do really well in it. Here's what we got going on right now in here. 63 degrees, 42% humidity, not too bad. This is my first Paphiopedilum. It's just another Eureka hybrid. This is a new growth that has grown for me. I'm expecting it's been growing really well. I think I have a good feeling about this one. I think this one will spike for me. But this plant has been nothing. I love this plant so much. It's a bulldog type yellow Paphiopedilum, and it's just put me through all the emotions. It wasn't doing well, droopy leaves, lost the old growth, and then I repotted it. Roots were okay. It was doing well. I had it up here under lights, highlights. Then I decided I wanted to check it out more, take more care of it, I don't know, monitor it more. So I brought it downstairs and put it in my little grow window. And then I noticed that I had a spike growing. And I got really, really excited. But then these little leaves died and the spike stopped growing. And you can actually see the spike. Oh, it's kind of awkward, but see that little furriness right in there? Right in there? There. That is the flower spike. And it has just stopped growing. So I was really upset that it stopped growing. Thought maybe, actually, pretty sure that when I moved it from this highlight down to the south-facing window that doesn't get consistent highlight, I might have stressed it out and caused it to stop growing. So I decided to move it back under lights, back to where it was. And it still really hasn't grown for me. I did cut this to look inside, and I'm not sure if that might have hurt it. I'm a really impatient person, so maybe Paphiopedilums aren't the best thing for me to grow. Hopefully this thing will give me, just the fact that it did try to spike for me gives me courage that it will respike sometime. Now what I'm hoping for is either this to start growing again, or I hope that it will give me some new growth, and maybe in a year or two I'll get another spike. I don't know. This is my favorite one. This is the tag it came with. It's absolutely gorgeous. Big, white, round flower with some purpley specks on it. It's funny because this one, it doesn't have as much speckling, or whatever it's called, in the leaves. This one is the same plant, just didn't come with a name tag, but it came from Trader Joe's, same place I got that one. And the flower looked the same. It was not in great condition, so I rescued it. The flower was dying, it looked horrible, so I figured nobody else would probably want it. This poor plant. It's not doing that well. It's doing okay. It needs to still adjust to my environment. It's the old spike. This leaf is dying. When I pulled it out of the pot and I repotted it, its root system was very weak. I've only had this plant for a few months, so hopefully after repotting it, putting it in some decent light, it'll do well, because I just love the leaves on this one. This one has great leaves. And what's really weird is the spike had a flower on it, which was dying when I got it, but it also, right here, the little nubbin had another bud. Ultimately, it could produce 2 flowers off of one spike. I thought that was really cool. I don't know if it will, but looks like it could. So these two are the same, and you can see the difference in them. This one is giving me some new growth right in here, right there. So I'm really happy about that. This plant's really healthy and happy. This guy got this little cutie from eBay. The two middle leaves right in the dead smack in the middle, that's new growth that's grown for me. I'm really happy. This plant is only 3 years old. Still has not spiked for me, but since it is a Paphiopedilum that's pretty young, it's on one of these. That's what it came with. And I just love how cute and little it is. I love the leaves. It's a great plant. And it likes it here. This is a south-facing window. It gets lots of light. Those are my Tolumnias. But these guys are on this side, so they get some nice bright east morning sunlight over here. And then when the harsh sun is coming out, they're not getting as much. So I think they like that. This one is another Eureka with beautiful leaves. There's its plant name. My daughter picked it up for me for my birthday. This one is absolutely gorgeous. The flower is it's not as dark as my other one. It's more like a pinkish. It's really, really pretty with great speckling on it. It's a great plant. And there's some new growth. And whenever you see new growth, that's potential for a new plant. I mean, new spike. This is probably another one of my favorites. Paphiopedilums. They're slow growing, and for somebody as impatient as I am, they drive me crazy. But the thing is, I love the leaves on them, so I don't mind looking at them when they're not in bloom. They also don't take up much space, so they're easy to keep. I mean, I got 4 right here all together. Happy as can be. The other cool thing about Paphiopedilums is that they're always a little different. You can divide your Paphiopedilum and then give it to a friend or sell it, but most of the Paphiopedilums you get are grown from seeds. They're not cloned in the same way that many other orchids can be cloned, so you can get a variation of the same hybrid every time. Back there, you know, we have the two pretty white alba Paphiopedilums, but one of them has more speckling on the leaves and also has a little bud. It had a little bud where the flower was too, so it could have ultimately bloomed twice. And that one doesn't have as much speckling on the leaves, but they're the same plant, or at least the same cross, but from seeds. So it's just pretty cool how Paphiopedilums can be so very different genetically, but not. It's the way that they're all propagated. They take a long time to grow, and they take a long time to get to a specimen size. So in order to divide your plant, you're going to have a really old plant. And these Eureka mixes, hybrids, their flowers can vary so much. But I've seen some that are very, very similar, almost the same, but then this one, very different from the others. And that's just the fun of the Paphiopedilums. So I hope you enjoy them as much as I do. Just wish they grew a little faster.